a strict 100% organic ketogenic diet with intermittent fasting, 1 meal a day. And then a friend of mine started to send me some information about supplements. Then I met Guy, who also was a big part of my story. And then I started the protocol that he's doing and that you and he are looking into, I think, at the moment.
There's a gentleman by the name of Guy Tenenbaum who I interviewed, and we worked together. He had stage 4 cancer and he no longer has cancer. And so you found his videos, and there's a nutritional protocol that is based on some really interesting research that we also helped funded, and many of you watching have helped funded this research in Europe, which we just now completed. I mean, it took a while to complete it and get the research published, okay, in a major journal, which I'm going to put the link down below, which is very exciting. I'm going to do a separate video on that, but it's a, you know, Guy's success was a combination of primarily fasting and, of course, the diet.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So the first step for me was the 21-day fast. Then after I went on a strict ketogenic diet with intermittent fasting. That was the basis. After that, I implemented many of the things that I knew from my martial art training: breathing, meditation, ice cold bath in the winter as well as the summer, mini trampoline to really reboot my lymphatic system. Everything that I could think of, I tried to attack that cancer from as many angles as possible. I also did a mini psychotherapy with a friend of mine who's a psychotherapist doctor in France. And I really tried to see, okay, where else can I do something about that tumor? And then I finally met Guy and your research, and I implemented melatonin, green tea, vitamin D3, zinc, and few other supplements to really help me finish the healing completely. And bottom line, I was diagnosed in September 10, I think. Excuse me if the dates are not perfect. I put everything in my book for those interested, all the dates and everything, but sometimes I forget. And 4 months later, exactly on January 9, I was completely healed and cancer-free. 6 sessions of chemo instead of 24, just 6, to reduce the tumor a little faster and then release some of the pain. So I said, okay, let's do that. Of course, I continued my research before doing the chemo. I found Dr. Valter Longo's research on fasting and chemo, so I fasted, and I only did 3 sessions of chemotherapy. So session number 1, I fasted the day before, the day during, and the day after. No symptom, nothing. I was perfectly fine. The second session, I decided not to fast, just to go on a light ketogenic diet to see if it was the fasting who helped me or if it was my immune system or my body because of the martial arts. I didn't know. So I didn't fast on the second one, but I was very, very careful with my food. I was sick like a dog. It was horrible. The third session of chemotherapy, I fasted again, nothing, no symptom. And compared to all my friends around me, when I was doing the chemo, I was the only one not to lose one single hair, nothing. I didn't lose my hair. I wasn't sick. I didn't lose much weight. I mean, because of the fasting, I really, really went through the chemo quite easily.
Hi all, Tony here from Immortality Cryptocurrency. Today we want to do a cancer protocol.
Disclaimer. Whether you decide to do conventional therapy or not, it is recommended that you do this protocol as your foundation. For those people also doing chemo/radiation, they too can benefit from this same protocol, as the nutrients and diet below may also help protect against the side effects and damage of chemo and radiation. This diet, nutritional protocol is not a treatment or a place for any medical treatment or prevention for any medical diseases including cancer, and is only research data. No promise of any claim is given in this document.
I would also add, this is just something to think about, whether you've got cancer or not. It's not a cure for cancer, and we don't claim that it is. The person who made this protocol is named Fred Evrard, And Fred Evrard survived stage 4 group 5 Gleason 9 cancer, which is a cancer of the colon. The principle of the protocol is in inhibiting the SCOT enzyme and the associated enzymatic chain, depriving the tumor cell of its acetyl-CoA necessary for membrane synthesis. So it involves attempting to starve the cancer, which many people have spoken about, the various method of starving the cancer of its energy requirements, its fuel to keep growing, anti-angiogenesis, SCOT's enzyme inhibition. Well, he says, terminal phase cancer detected in August 2018 called incurable, prostate, bone, lymph nodes and metastasis, stage 4, phase 4, group 5, TNM Gleason 9 survival between 3 months and 2 years. And he says, thanks to fasting, food and nutrients, he's still here. The higher level strategies to target at cancer's weakest link, which is the metabolic enzyme called SCOT. You can look at SCOT as a door to cancer's food and building blocks. If left open, it will keep growing. There are 2 ways we will block SCOT. 1, specific herbal compounds which chemically block SCOT, and 2, reducing dietary fat and their byproduct called ketones. There are additional strategies as well. One is to exhibit those factors that affect the growth of cancer, called proliferation. The enzyme that controls growth in the body is called mTOR. The most powerful way to turn this off is through fasting and a low-protein diet. Arginine and glutamate are 2 amino acids that also must be reduced. The diet listed below will give you examples of foods to eat, or the herbs recommended to help block SCOT also have additional anti-cancer properties. So he's going to fast to block SCOT, but he also wants to block ketones. So he doesn't want to go ketogenic. Obviously, he's not going to be eating fried foods or sugars. He's talking about fasting. And he referenced Valter Longo, who's big into caloric restriction. Fasting, daily and periodic prolonged, is the most important action to implement when addressing cancer. This is because of the following. It works epigenetically, which means it controls your genes in the direction of anti-cancer efforts. It stops mTOR, the growth factor. Decreases IGF-1, another growth factor. Increases immune stem cells, giving you your immune defense. So he's talked about starving the cancer of key nutrients that it needs to proliferate. He's talked about boosting the immune system, and he's talked about decreasing growth factors in his body. This is why in longevity we also think about cancer, because what we want to do is flood our body with growth factors, but we don't want the side effect of it possibly leading to cancer, because the growth factors are how we get the regeneration. Stimulates autophagy, which rids damaged mitochondria and inhibits inflammation. Carbohydrates also can feed cancer, so your carbs must be low. Cancer hogs sugar from the rest of your cells. However, without getting too far into the weeds, it takes large amounts of carbs to feed cancer. This is why some carbs will be okay to keep under 50 grams of net carbs a day. Net carb is taking a total carb and subtracting the fiber. So the protocol says you can have 50 grams of net carbs per day. Fiber, being a carbohydrate, cannot feed cancer, so the foods recommended should be high in fiber. Fiber keeps your friendly bacteria thriving, and they are a big part of your immune system. The carbs to eat are vegetables. Certain types of vegetables fight cancer more than others, specifically cruciferous vegetables. Now he's mentioned the biome and the biome's ability to promote health. And he's also mentioned exotic molecules in some of these vegetables that could be anti-cancer, possibly and anti-angiogenic. arugula, bok choy, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, cauliflower, collard greens, horseradish, kale, radishes, rutabaga, turnips, wasabi, watercress. Now we're talking about this guy having cancer and going into an extreme fasted state in order to promote a catabolic state, high cannibalism, anti-angiogenic, anti-proliferation, anti-growth, and possibly trying to boost his immune system, whether that activates stress response genes, like for example with ice baths and things like this. There are some fruits that can also be eaten, however, not too many because of the higher sugar levels. The fruits recommended do have anti-cancer properties, fiber, and are lower on the glycemic index. Adding some of these will help slow down weight loss, but keep the carbs under 50 net carb. Berries are anti-angiogenic or believed to be. In this plan, we will use a combination of strategies: OMAD, 1 meal a day, and periodic prolonged fasting. Diet: low fat, low protein, and low carb. At the heart of the diet is vegetables, especially vegetables that have anti-cancer properties. To maintain weight, certain lower glycemic fruit can be eaten. There is one type of dietary fat that is acceptable: omega-3 fats. 3 key herbal supplements. Diet. The diet recommended for cancer is not the same diet to prevent cancer. The diet to help prevent cancer is a ketogenic diet, high fat, moderate protein, low carb, and intermittent fasting. No reference supplied. Assertion made, but no reference supplied. Cancer uses a different metabolic pathway, so the diet macros need to be different. Now, he's stating his protocol. He can state whatever he wants. It's his protocol. That's his business. But he's made a claim here that the diet to help prevent cancer is a ketogenic diet that needs referencing. You just can't make statements like that. Here are some specific points. The lion's share of food should be vegetable, especially cruciferous vegetables. Unlimited, but at least 10 cups per day. Avoid corn and soy. The fruits you can consume were chosen for their lowered amounts of sugar, nutrient density, and with anti-cancer property. You will not be exceeding 50 grams per day of fruits and berries. 3 fats feed cancer except omega-3 fatty acids. Fatty fish has high amounts of omega-3 fatty acids, but fish also is high in protein. However, cod liver, canned, is 20% omega-3 and low in protein, not to mention high in vitamin D and A. Consuming this 2 eggs per week could be done. What he doesn't know there is the fish get their omega-3 from algae and phytoplankton. They're exotic plants, but they could be a good choice. How much protein is low protein? Roughly 4 ounces, 20 grams per day, or you could use this formula to be more exact, 0.28 kilograms of weight. This would look like roughly the size of the palm of your hand. And when we talk about grams of protein, we are talking about the actual protein in protein. For example, you have the gram weight of an egg, which is 50 grams, but the protein in that egg is only 7 grams, or your calculations will be the grams of protein in each protein source. Examples of 4 ounces of protein: sardines, half a can of wild caught or cod liver, can of wild caught, or 3 eggs, organic or pasteurized, raised, or 4 ounces of meat, fish, or seafood. 5. There is also some additional protein you can have in the form of straight amino acids if you need it and you feel weak. Essential aminos, certain amino acid blends have a 99% absorption rate and have no glutamine, perfect amino or keto, carrion amino, and options. This may or may not be needed, but it is there if you need it. So you're not supposed to hurt yourself with the protocol. I guess you kind of have to stay in tune with yourself to not hurt yourself. The type of protein needs to be organic, grass-fed, and wild caught. How do you really know that? There's no way to really know that that's the case. Typically, nuts are high in arginine, which can increase the growth of cancer. However, 2 types of nuts are low in arginine: hickory nuts and pistachios. You want food that are low in arginine. This is an amino acids that can trigger the growth of cancer. A. Eat fish, chicken, beef, lamb, and eggs. B. Avoid turkey, pumpkin seed, peanuts, walnuts, and hazelnuts, chocolate, grains, and squash. Avoid dairy due to growth factors, milk, cheese, yogurt, kefir. Hummus, only with olive oil, no soy, can be consumed at no more than 1 cup per day. 11. Use garlic liberally on your food. 12. Avoid omega-6 fatty acids, corn, canola, soy, and cottonseed. 13. Avoid all sugar. 14. Avoid all grains and grain products. 15. Liquids. Consume minimally 2.5 liters per day of water. You can also have herbal teas through the day. 16. Limit coffee to only 8 ounces per day. That's pretty strict and intense. It makes sense, doesn't it? Fasting. Vary fasting with different patterns to keep these consistent. OMAD daily, 1 meal a day. 48-hour fast each week. 72-hour fast each month. Each other month, do a 7-day fast. The more fasting you do, the better. The severe your cancer prognosis, the longer you need to fast. If you could go 30 or 40 days, do it. However, you must balance your weight. If you have extra fat to lose, longer faster would be much better. So you're tossing a coin there between fasting to its maximum in order to starve the cancer. Now he says sea salt Himalayan is vital. 1.5 teaspoons per day is recommended. You can add it to your food or mix it in your electrolytic drink. Your basic nutrient supplements while fasting should be minerals, electrolytes, trace minerals, vitamin C, B vitamins, vitamin D, E, K2, omega-3s from virgin cod liver oil, and amino acids if you're too thin or feel weak. Fasting produces acidity, so a high-quality green drink would be advised. Spirulina powder would be best because it also is one of the compounds to block SCOT. SCOT inhibitors. Metabolic. Alpha-lipoic acid 4 grams to 1.8 grams per day. Start with less and gradually increase over 3 weeks. Hydroxycitrate. Garcinia 1.2 grams to 3 grams per day. Start with less and gradually increase over 3 weeks. Red algae, take 8 grams per day. Spirulina, take 10 to 14 grams a day. You may need to work up to this dosage. Black seed oil, 500 milligrams, 2 times per day, as this can increase somatostatin, which lowers insulin, and glucagon, which will slow the ketone fuel to the cancer. Salvage pathway inhibitor, garlic, allicin. Take different forms, raw, freeze-dried, fermented, and take lots. Yet go gradually due to the potential for irritation to the stomach. Garlic is high in BI and can reduce lactic acid from the cancer. If you want to take them as a supplement, take 500 milligrams 4 times a day. Glutamine inhibitor, green tea. Take as a supplement, as well as drinking green tea through the day, EGCG. Phytonutrients, broccoli sprouts, cruciferous vegetables with olive oil, oleocanthal, 2 teaspoons per day. Anti-angiogenesis, reduce blood supply to tumors. Any of these food and natural herbs can be taken. Foods and herbs that can assist include cruciferous vegetables, curcumin, quercetin, ginger, and many others. That 1 meal a day. But nice food. I mean, better than the food I make, definitely. And he's given you some references, which is good. And that's the cancer protocol. Okay, so the cancer protocol has anti-angiogenesis, exotic molecules that may or may not prevent cancer, anti-fueling the cancer, so anti-sugar, anti-SCOT, anti-fats that drive the cancer, boosting the immune system. Fasting itself as calorie restriction has shown to boost stress-resistant genes, highly catabolic, and he's also receiving medical treatment at the same time. That was Fred Evrard's cancer protocol. Okay, over and out.